Okay, seems like we are ready. And I'm just opening the chat so that I see you guys what you're texting me here on my phone. And I'm just going to talk to you all the live lesson long so that we don't have this as a one-way conversation, but rather a whole full-blown dialogue where I see the chat and where I can answer all of your questions. So please feel free to ask questions if you have any, because I'm here for you to answer them. We have a couple of minutes until everyone is joining. I'm just trying to adjust the screen so that everything is visible and everything is not covered with the video. Okay, seems like it's all good. Great. So today, I hope we all will have a very productive session. The duration of the session will be approximately 1.5 hours. And during this time, hopefully, everyone will be able to learn what are the strategies and what are my tips, my approach to scoring 7 and above on IELTS. If there are any problems with your tag, I mean, if there is a delay, that's normal. There is a broadcast delay, something like 10 seconds. So it means that if you're texting me in the chat, if you're asking the questions, I'm not gonna answer them right away, like that second, because there will be a delay. There will be like up to 10 seconds, a pause between me checking the question and me answering that. Save your questions, please, until the end, because in the end, we will have some time to work on your questions productively, and I will try to answer every single one, and I will try to give you my best in terms of the advice and the approach to solving the IELTS questions. So if you do have any questions during the session, just save them until the end, or you can ask them right in the chat, but I will go back to them in the end when there is time to answer questions. But before we begin, I just like to tell you that I am super proud of you. Like, honestly, congrats on getting this far. We have a very packed bootcamp in terms of information, in terms of lessons, practice, theory, and I've been doing these bootcamps the whole year long, and this is the 4th one. And to be honest with you, not everyone finishes even the first day. It's not that challenging, but it's rather quite a dedicating that is required from you. I mean, the dedication to solve the questions, and we have real difficulty questions in the bootcamp, dedication to go through the theory, dedication to get all that info and improve, and not everyone gets to this point. So congrats on being here with me and on getting through the first day. That means you are on track to improvement. Today's agenda. So today we will discuss how to get 7+ for your IELTS test. And today we will also discover the possibility of admission to absolutely any university in the world that uses the English language, of course, as their working language for studies. We will also talk about moving to English-speaking countries. If you have questions about that, please feel free to ask them in the chat. We will talk about getting high-paying jobs with the IELTS certificate and much, much more. So hopefully today's agenda will be useful for you, and everything that we cover today will be useful. Also, how cool is the presentation design? Do you guys think it's nice? Like, I'm proud of it. I love when a presentation is beautiful, when it's pleasant and nice to look at it. So if you also think that the presentation looks fab, just let me know. I will be happy that you like it, because I've put some hours into it. Right. apart from everything else, apart from talking about the IELTS test, talking about the moving to English-speaking countries, getting high-paying jobs, we will also talk about the Rocket IELTS course. Now, this is my favorite product of all times. This is a huge 2-month-long comprehensive course packed with information on how to score band 7 and above, and we literally take people by hand and we walk them step by step through the preparation process so that everyone scores band 7 and above. That's the biggest course that I do only a couple of times per year, and this is the last option in this year, last possibility, last opportunity to jump onto the Rocket IELTS course this year. And today I will present the course to you. I will speak about that in detail. So if you guys wanted to join or if you have any questions about that, I will be happy to assist. So the ideal result of today's presentation, of today's live lesson, is when everyone leaves this live stream with a clear understanding of how to score 7+ in IELTS academic or general. Literally, there is nothing better for me than you guys understanding 100% of what we have talked with you today. I mean, we will have talked in the future, and there is nothing better than you guys really getting this knowledge and applying this. Not only writing that down in your notebook, but really getting the the hands-up approach is probably the word, but I would probably go with using those skills and that knowledge to really make your preparation more effective. Because I have so many students who come to me and they say, oh, but my preparation is so ineffective. I've spent loads of money, loads of time, loads of my nerves to prepare for the test, and then I took the test several times, I failed, and now I'm here, I came to you. And I'm okay, thanks for your trust, but unfortunately that's very sad to hear that people waste, that's a better word, they waste so many resources and then they don't get their ideal results and their target scores. Okay, for whom is this lesson? I just want to go through this real quick so that we have people that are really the target audience for this lesson today. Because if you guys want to move abroad to study or to work, if you want to live in English-speaking countries, if you want to test your English level and knowledge, because this is what the IELTS test does, it's impossible to fail the test, right? Because it just gives you information on which level your English is and how profound your knowledge is. That's just really what IELTS does. If you want to land a high-paying job, and I believe the majority of people here wants, or if you want to get IELTS band 7 at the first attempt and not to lose your money and time undertaking the test, then this lesson is for you. Hopefully 100% of the people here today can relate to these points. Hopefully everyone wants to move abroad, everyone wants to learn English, and everyone wants to score band 7. If not, let me know in the comments, and probably that's not the best place for you to be right now. Okay. How do you get the most of this lesson, guys, today? So first of all, focus. I want you to focus strictly on this session because me and my team, we've put so much of our attention, of our knowledge, of our effort into it. And invite your friends to join, send them the link, invite them, share a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and study together. Second, be active. Please ask questions. Please stay active. I'm reading your chat and I will be addressing everything that I see there. And this is your chance to clear out all your doubts about IELTS, because me, as an experienced IELTS trainer, I'm here to help you and I'm here to address any questions you might be having. And lastly, take notes. Prepare to write down the most useful ideas and tips, and there will be a lot of them today. And just get a pen and notebook, write it down, because that's the method that helps you memorize stuff easier, and that's the method that really creates those neural connections in your brain so that you remember stuff easier and faster. But before we begin, that's actually a shared responsibility. Today's results, today's success of this session is a shared responsibility. That's 50% on me. I've prepared, I've come, and I'm speaking here in front of you, but the rest is on you, on how active you will be, on how focused you will be, on how much you will write down, on how much you will learn. That's the shared responsibility, and I really hope that you understand that, and you came here not with this notion that, okay, I'm just gonna sit and do whatever, and she's gonna speak, and I will listen something, but maybe not pay the fullest attention because I don't need it. If you don't need that, just please leave, and we will be here with the people who are 100% dedicated to making their dreams come true with the IELTS test. And lastly, just take photos and videos, post them to your Instagram stories and tag me. That's just a small bit of how I usually put up photos on my Instagram stories or videos of my previous live lessons, my previous live streams. That's here. A very beloved live stream that I had about IELTS speaking. That was in March, like back in March, more than half a year ago. But I just encourage everyone to post about this live stream to your Instagram stories, tag me, and just share your emotions and your impressions if you liked it, because that's the biggest award for me when I see that people like it, when I see that they're sharing their reviews and emotions. And that's not something that people do in the chat, that's something that they do in their Instagram stories. And then after the live stream is finished, I just grab my tea and I go through the stories and I see all of you guys' reviews and emotions, and it just makes me so happy. So please tag me on your Instagram if you like the session. I hope you will. Right, let's begin. Let's begin with the interactive part, and I'm really curious about where you guys are from and who are you in general? Like, what kind of people do we have here? So please comment in the chat where you're from. What's your country? Just real quick, your country. Second, why do you need the IELTS test? Maybe for work, maybe for studying, maybe for something else. It's totally okay. Just interested to see what kind of people we have here and what do you want to achieve with the help of the IELTS test. It opens so many doors. And what's your level? Have you prepared before? What's your English level? What's your target score on IELTS? Just let me know here in the chat and I will be very happy to meet you. I know that in the bootcamp, in the IELTS listening bootcamp that is going on right now, we have people from more than 20 countries. Can you imagine? 20 countries in one bootcamp. I love how international our community is, and I just truly love how many people want to change their lives with the IELTS test, and it helps them, like it truly helps them. It opens doors across the globe. Okay, upper intermediate. Hope I'm upper intermediate. Oh, I hope you are. Vlada wants to study abroad. Cool. I did that. I see Alina who wants to do SAMS, and that was my program for the master's degree. I did SAMS. That is a double degree program in master's in the best business schools in the world, and it's so worth it. I also took IELTS to get into SAMS, and it just changed my life completely. I now have a managing position in a huge corporation. I have a whole team to manage. I have my own business. I have this community, and like so many cool things happened thanks to IELTS and thanks to the prestigious education that I got with its help. So I'm here to push you guys and to help you open doors for your success and for your future. Uzbekistan, Belarus, Russia, Ukraine, Brazil, hello Brazil, India, Philippines, South Korea, Kyrgyzstan. Wow, I'm impressed. Kazakhstan, cool. Hi, I'm from India. I would like to appear for the IELTS academic exam for further study in Canada. I had, how many students did I have who were from India and went to Canada? I think like over 10 people that I've taught. They were Indians and they eventually went to Canada. Right now, I'm at executive level in a pharmaceutical company with accounting department. Wow, good for you, Prakash. That's amazing. An executive level in a pharmaceutical company. Love that. Okay, I'm a student. I hope I'm B2 and I study in Finland, but I want to study in Finland. By the way, the B2 level is the ideal level for people who want to join the Rocket IELTS course. We usually accept people at the levels of B1 and B2 because the whole course is in English and you need that level to understand what's going on, basically, and to improve. Okay, and the last one. I'm Maria from Russia. I want to study in Boston and then live in New York City. My level is B1. You will totally get it, Maria. I believe in you. Like, I have no doubt you will. And I also have no doubt that IELTS will help you with that. Okay, so just so heartwarming to see all you guys here. Let me probably also share a couple of words about myself, because I've learned so much about you, and hopefully you also want to learn something about me. So my name is Darian St. Martin. I'm 25 years old. I am originally from Russia. I've studied in three universities. One was for economics. I was majoring in world economics in my bachelor's. Then for the master's degree, I went to the best business school of Russia in Eastern Europe. And then with the help of IELTS, I moved to Switzerland to study there in the St. Gallen University, which is the best business school of Switzerland. And there I got a couple of job offers in Germany. Then I got a cool job offer in the biggest oil and gas company in Russia. So I went back to Russia. I managed an IT product there, and now I am in a managing position in the biggest e-commerce company here. And we are expanding to other countries, so I'm enabling this expansion to the other countries. And also I have this World Speaks English community where I help people to pass their IELTS tests and move abroad and get the target band score at the first attempt without wasting that money and time and efforts. And with my story with IELTS, I remember I learned that I needed the IELTS test to get into the business school of my dreams. It was like 2 or 3 months before I needed to take the test, and I was procrastinating like crazy. My level back then was B2, and I just didn't want to start preparation. I didn't. I was so lazy, you cannot believe. And then 2 months passed, and I had a wake-up call, and I'm like, oh, what am I doing? It's just 1 month left until the test. I haven't touched books yet. I haven't started preparing yet. That's disgusting. Like, Darian, you really need to get yourself together and do it. And I just got so motivated because I was afraid I would lose this dream of mine to study in a business school and to build an international career, that I just really stood up and I went to the library, I got books, and I created this custom preparation plan for myself. And I just followed that plan during 3.5 weeks. I had less than 1 month, and I jumped from B2 to C1 in 1 month. And I got band 8.0 with 9 in reading and 9 in listening at the first attempt in just under a month in IELTS Academic. It was unbelievable, to be honest, because I just understood that strategy works, and I started sharing that on my YouTube channel, and this is how the whole World Speaks English community got created, because the channel grew and people were sharing their experiences and their successes with my strategy, and then so many people wanted a course from me that I just decided, okay, I'm gonna run a course. And now we have this big course with the native speaker on an interactive platform that I'm gonna tell you more about in just a minute. Okay, now let's stop that, let's stop the introductions and dive right into the content. So my mission right now with the whole WSE community is to help you guys become an IELTS superhero who is not afraid of the test. I mean, come on, it's not something you should be afraid of. Who knows how to tackle all the questions and who uses effective strategies to score 7+. Effective, not time-consuming. Effective, not myth that you got somewhere from the internet. And yeah, hopefully everyone comes out of this lesson today being superheroes. And there will be a gift for you guys in the end. For everyone who watches until the end, I'm gonna send this slide deck so that you don't have to take screenshots. This slide deck will be sent to you as a PDF, and I will tell you how to get it in the end of the lesson, so stay tuned. Okay, so this slide. Let me take a sip of water. So in this slide, we have 7 padlocks. What are those padlocks? Well, I hope it's clear. It really is clear that these padlocks are your 7 steps to success. Your 7 steps to Band 7+, and today we will open those padlocks one by one during the lesson. Okay? So the first one is strategy. Opening the first padlock. You cannot really start something. Doesn't matter whether that's the IELTS test preparation or if that's, I don't know, your dream business, or you want to draw a picture. By the way, I've just drawn a very, very big picture. It's out of the frame, you cannot see it, but I had a solid strategy on how I'm gonna do it. I just started with a sketch and then I proceeded with the colors, and you really need a strategy with everything you do. And why it's important for IELTS? Because with this strategy, you know the step-by-step process. With this strategy, you know what to start with and what to end with. So what comes into the strategy? The first part is timings. Timings is huge for IELTS, because with IELTS and with any other test, you have clear deadlines. The strategy starts with you understanding, okay, when is the deadline when I must finish everything and I must take the test? It's a good idea to book your test date in advance so that you have this deadline kind of waiting in the future, and kind of, being that not something you're afraid of, but something that encourages you, something that motivates you, something that pushes you out of your bed every single morning. So establishing the deadlines is very important. Then with the strategy comes understanding of your pace of learning, because all people are different. We all are individuals. Some people learn faster. Some people learn slower, but that's not because some people are smart and those who learn slower are stupid. No, it's not because someone is smart and someone is not. It's mostly because of the different ways our brains work. And some people have the brains of people, people have the brains of people, wow. Some people have inclination to learn languages. It's just easier for them to learn languages. And some people are more drawn to math or to history, and that's natural. But we all do need to take this test, this IELTS test. So therefore, understanding the pace of your learning is so important, because it will go into the equation, and it will just help you to set the correct deadline. Because if you learn slower, then you should push your deadline a bit so that you give yourself time and space to learn. And then lastly, with the strategy, when you're establishing the strategy in the beginning, you're also trying to understand how much time do you need to dedicate to IELTS every day. Because depending on your pace of learning and depending on your deadlines, you are getting that time that you're dedicating every day. Like whether that's 2 hours, perfect, going to work for some people. For others, that's going to be 5 hours a day. Like for me personally, it was 5 hours every single day when I was preparing for the test. So it really depends on how fast you're learning and on how much time you're ready to get kind of out of your day and dedicate to the IELTS test. Then another part of your strategy when you are beginning is the target score, right? What's required by your university or your employer? Because without understanding this, you will most likely not achieve the target score if you don't have a target score, right? So it's so important. not only to establish a deadline that pushes you forward, but also a target score that pushes you in your head. Okay, I'm gonna get the band 8. Perfect. Work for it. And then understanding the minimum, what's required by your university, is not everything. It's not all. Because usually universities start their minimum requirements with band 6.5, but there are more candidates for the place than there are places, right? So usually, if the demand is high, if there are, say, 100 people who want to get into the uni, but there are only 50 places, they will give the place to people with higher band scores. So even though you got 6.5, but everyone else got 8, they will get in and you will not, even though you have the minimum requirement. So the minimum is not enough. Therefore, please set your bar higher, set your target score higher, so that it will push you, it will motivate you, it will get you through your prep. Then the next part of your strategy is understanding and establishing your starting points. So understand what's your current level, like really measure it. Without measuring your current level, without understanding what your weaknesses and strengths are, you are most likely to just be lost during your prep, because you build the whole strategy based on what you want to improve, what you want to make a strength out of the weakness, and then what you can spend less time on, right? You have a set amount of time and you just distribute that time on the parts of the task that require most attention. But how would you understand what exactly requires most attention if you haven't taken a mock test or if you haven't measured your current level? So this is why, for example, on the Rocket IELTS course, we always start with a mock test in IELTS, and we also start with a placement test in your vocabulary, so that you know exactly where you stand at in the beginning and what you should dedicate more time to, how you should structure your preparation, so that at the end you get your target score. Like, that's super important. Have you done at least one mock test and noted your initial level? Please let me know in the chat. I will sip some water. Send just yes or no in the chat if you have done at least one mock test already and noted your initial level. Let me know. Waiting for your answers. Yes, okay, I see people responding yes, no. Yes and no, right? Hopefully you now understand how important it is to start with the mock test. Not finish with the mock test, like start in the beginning with the mock test, because this is why, this is how you will understand that, for instance, reading goes slowly for you, but then you're good at speaking. So this knowledge, this insight gives you the opportunity to allocate more time to reading and less time to speaking, and turn your weakness into your strength at the end, so that your reading score goes up faster, but since your speaking score is already okay, you don't need to work as much on it. There is unfortunately a misconception of some people that we have this bias that when something is easy, relatively easy, like for instance, let's say listening is easy for you, you just keep doing this more and more because you feel psychologically, you feel safer, psychologically, you feel better when you do something that you know how to do. And then also psychologically, you're afraid of doing something that you don't know how to tackle. So this is why going for things that are easier is just something that is innate in ourselves. And going for things that are more difficult, it's something that we try to avoid. So without doing the mock test in the beginning, you're risking dedicating more time to things you are already good at and just wasting that time. So hopefully you don't do it, and hopefully, I see that some people said no. So please, when you are done with this lesson, just take a mock test. Please do. Not hopefully, but that will help you for sure. Okay, Next part of your strategy is materials and guidance. Please understand at the beginning, figure out who exactly you will study with. Whether you will be on your own, which is harder, that's just more difficult. Being on your own with no one to push you, no one to motivate you, no one to guide you, that's a tough path. And unfortunately, people who study on their own, they statistically fail the test more often than those who study in a group, or those who study with a course, or those who have a one-on-one teacher. So just like statistically, unfortunately, people fail more often. Then decide what books you will use. Again, IELTS has become a business for many people, and especially for those who print books like crazy. Like 10 books every year, and those books are just not good quality. Like, for instance, the Cambridge IELTS books, they are great. It's like the best source of your mock tests, of the real difficulty mock tests in the Cambridge IELTS books. But it's very important to understand that the sample answers for writing in those Cambridge IELTS books, they are written for people who want to get band 6 or band 5. Like, they are scored somewhere around band 6.5, but not higher. And like, normally students don't know this. Normally students just take the IELTS Cambridge IELTS book and they start recreating and repeating what they've seen there in the sample answers for essays, for writing. Unfortunately, they don't know that those samples are scored at 6.5, and people who want to score 8, they just recreate those poor essay samples, and they can't get a high score because they just don't know how that works. So this is why it's so important to have somebody beside you who can really guide you and explain how that thing works, the IELTS thing. And lastly, the last part of your strategy is having a planner. A planner is somewhere where and how you will track your progress. Like, understand where exactly you're tracking your progress, how you're doing this. Is this in your phone? Is this in a notebook? Is this somewhere on a big piece of paper that you've just slammed at your wall right in front of your desk? Or is this in sticky notes around your house? Doesn't matter. Just decide where exactly and how you will track your progress before you begin, so that it becomes a solid part of your strategy. Okay? So the first step is the strategy, and we've broken down that step into 5 smaller steps. And that's one of my personally favorite things, to break down something big and intimidating and something that I'm afraid of into small steps. And then just taking those steps, I progress to success faster. A good strategy for everyone who wants to tackle big things like IELTS. Okay, I also want to tell you that with my step-by-step system, which is the Rocket IELTS course, you will for sure boost your IELTS skills and self-confidence in just 8 weeks, with solid structure, with solid practice, and with a lot of feedback. So hopefully you guys remember about that, and looking at this and thinking about your style of preparation, you also keep in mind that it's one thing to prepare on your own, it's one thing to struggle through all these steps and through all these difficulties, but that's completely another thing to have a team of professionals, to have like-minded people around you who help you, who just lead you to success, who motivate you every single day. Okay, second step, the feedback. Some water. Right. So we're done with the first step, and the first step to success is strategy. Now, second step is no less important. The second step is feedback. Why feedback is so important? Like, what does it give you? Why do I speak so much about feedback today? Well, because feedback is the key to fast and efficient prep. You might be preparing for ages with no feedback, but as long as you get that feedback, like you literally get someone who comments on your performance, you just skyrocket. Like your efficiency boosts I think, in my opinion, like 5 times more efficiency with feedback. Why? Okay, let's see why. Because with feedback, you know where exactly to improve, like what goes wrong and what to change. You know how to improve faster because your teacher gives you straightforward tips and straightforward advice what to do to improve faster. You stop wasting that time every single day on trying to figure out, okay, what am I doing wrong? I just don't understand. You know, these candidates who keep preparing for IELTS for years and years and they're stuck at speaking 7.5 but they want 8, or they're stuck at speaking 5 but they want 7, and they're like, what am I doing wrong? I don't know what is wrong with me, like what is my problem? And this is when you need feedback, because with feedback you know how to improve faster so that you stop wasting this time and stop contemplating and guessing what goes wrong because you have a person who comments on your performance. Feedback allows you to speed up your preparation and to spend just less time, less money, less effort. Feedback also helps you to understand where to slow down and where to revise, repeat something, take a step again, take an exercise again, do it again. Sometimes it's just so important to revise and to practice more. And with feedback, you know where exactly to do it. You're just not jumping around all over the place. With feedback, you also know what methods work best for you. You stop wasting your time on doing things just don't work out. With feedback, you also know what grammar mistakes you make. You stop wasting your time on trying to understand what is wrong with my essay when you know exactly what grammar you should revise so that your essay works better and looks better and reads better. With feedback, you also know what vocabulary seems out of place, because that's such a big pain on IELTS, especially with students who still think that the more sophisticated words they throw into their writing or into their speaking, the better their band score will be. That is wrong. Who told you that? Like, no. The only reason for your band score to be better is when you show fluent, correct English, when you answer the question to the fullest, and when you follow the band descriptors. That's it. There is nothing about throwing inside super complicated vocabulary, crazy idioms, that will just not help you. Most likely, that will exacerbate your score and force it go down, unfortunately. And lastly, with feedback, you understand what you're doing great and what should be changed. So hopefully you know right now with this slide, you just sink in how important the feedback is. Well, again, I just want to underscore here that thanks to the honest and consistent feedback, you will not make same mistakes many times. Unfortunately, people who don't have a teacher or a friend or someone around who comments on their performance, they just keep making the same mistakes. They keep doing the same wrong stuff all over again because they just don't know what exactly they're doing wrong, and thus they improve slowly. That's just the rule of thumb, unfortunately. Okay, now your turn. Comment below into the chat. Send yes or no if you have feedback during your IELTS preparation. Just let me know. And I'm gonna read your comments. Okay, Alina Plotnikova asks, what if my test is in less than 2 months? I have a special package where you just move at your own pace. If you need 1 day, you do it all in 1 day. If you need 1 week, you do it all in 1 week. You just decide in which pace you want to move, and that's it. I'm gonna talk about that a bit later, but this package is also available. Islam says we can all make a WhatsApp group where we can all share useful information and practice for IELTS together. This is why my Telegram group exists. If you want to be in a huge group with thousands of people. There are 4,000 or 5,000 of people in my Telegram chat group where everyone prepares for IELTS and everyone helps each other, then join my group. It's completely free and it's available for everyone. Okay. Oh, by the way, let me send you the link to it. Why not? I will just send the link to my group for people who want to prepare for the test. The Telegram group that I have, the Telegram group for IELTS preparation. Yeah, here it is. Okay, shared the link so you can jump to the Telegram group. I also have a Telegram channel where I share books, where I share materials, lessons, videos, step-by-step strategies, like so many things in that channel as well. Telegram channel with tips from me. Okay, sharing. Right. Okay. So everyone says that they don't have feedback. Wow, that's so devastating. Like really, guys, please change it. Because unfortunately, that's hard truth, but you're wasting most likely your time and money. You're just wasting it on something that can be done more efficiently and can be done more effectively and just faster and easier. So please find someone to give you feedback. That will just skyrocket your preparation and you will stop doing these things. Like you will stop making the same mistakes. You will understand what vocabulary is right for the test. You will understand how to speed up preparation. You will know where to improve. You will just change it for better. Like I don't know how else to tell you that feedback is absolutely crucial for success. Okay, next step. We have opened strategy, we have opened feedback. Now the next step is structure. Why structure is that important for IELTS? Well, structure is basically understanding how each module works and what is expected from you in each module, okay? Understanding what exactly you should do to score band 7 and above and what's expected from you, what examiners expect from you in every single module is super important and it's all in the structure. Like for example, writing. Writing is fairly easy. It's broken down into task 1, where you have to write more than 150 words and you have to write a letter for the general test or describe a visually arranged data for the academic test. And in the task 2, you have to write more than 250 words and write a discursive essay. So this is the structure of the writing, but that's not enough. Here, what also goes into the structure is understanding the band descriptors. How many band descriptors are there? How many requirements are in each of the columns, in each of the band descriptors? What are you assessed for? What exactly should you do to get band 7, band 9, band 8, band 5? What exactly goes into your vocabulary, what goes into your grammar, what goes into your cohesion and coherence, how should you achieve the task. So all of those things are the integral parts of understanding the overall structure of the module or of the IELTS test. Or say speaking. Speaking has 3 parts and every single part has its own structure. Right? So following those rules, understanding that in the part 1, you just have to say fairly short answers with just from 1 to 3 sentences about yourself. Part 2, a monologue on a given topic. Part 3, a dialogue about abstract matters. Like understanding what exactly goes into each of these sections is super important. And again, that's the structure. That's the understanding of the structure. But that's not the end of it. Then the next step is understanding what goes into the band descriptors here. Like what exactly is required from me to get band 7 again, band 9, band 8, band 5. What is required step by step? What comes into my grammar? What comes into my vocabulary? Should I use idioms? How do I use linking words? What is the coherence and cohesion that I'm required to show? How do I achieve the task and answer it to the fullest? Again, understanding all of those parts comes into the whole structure of the exam, understanding the structure of every single module. And it's, again, very important if you want to ace the test, because you know how to play by the rules. Now, your turn. Do you know the structure and requirements for every single IELTS module? Let me know, yes or no, in the chat. And if you have any questions about particular modules, you can ask them now, and we will come back to them a bit later in the end so that I can answer your questions. Okay, while I'm waiting, I'm gonna take a sip of water and take a picture of our cool live lesson. I love it, by the way. Like, everyone is so active, everyone is learning, everyone is having great time, hopefully. Okay, so structure and requirements. Again, remember, what comes into the structure is the band descriptors, as well is what's required from you in every single module to score 7 and above. Like, that's all about structure. Okay, guys, I see that it's not that bad, right? Everyone knows the structure for every single part. Do you know, for instance, whether you should use idioms for the writing, whether you should use idioms for speaking? Like this idiom that everyone loves, not someone's cup of tea, or raining cats and dogs. Do you think we should use them for our speaking and writing? Let me know in the chat. Do you think it's a good idea? Like, literally, I know so many people who would scream, yes, we should use more idioms. Idioms are the key to success. Without idioms, IELTS is failed. And then the rest of the people I know will shout, no, idioms are horrible. Never use idioms. You will just worsen your score so much. And no one really knows what to do. And with, like, okay, I see that you guys are answering, no idea, no, I don't think so. Well then, you don't know the structure, okay? Because in the structure of the writing, it's not only knowing that there is task 1 and task 2, it's also knowing what is assessed in the vocabulary requirement. Because vocabulary requirement for writing is very clear. It's written in the band descriptors. Understanding the band score, understanding the vocabulary requirement for every single band score is super important. And again, that means understanding the structure of the test. Unfortunately, I now see that you don't really understand it. Manpreet says, use it in speaking, not writing. Well, Manpreet, unfortunately, you're wrong. Because it doesn't depend on where you use it. It depends on the context. Sometimes using such idioms like it's raining cats and dogs, for instance, this particular idiom is a bad idea just because it's outdated. No one says like this anymore. No one uses this idiom in real life in the UK anymore. It's super outdated. Like, it wasn't used in probably 60s or 70s, maybe 50s, but not now. People just don't say it like this. People say it's pouring rain, or better, it's raining buckets, which is also like kind of outdated, but it's still better that it's raining than it's raining cats and dogs. Or people say that it's like tropical showers. These are the modern types of the vocabulary, the modern language that is used right now, and it's a much better idea for your IELTS test because the examiner wants you to speak like a native. The examiner wants you to show that you understand these small differences, like they are tiny differences in the language, in the vocabulary, but you know them. You feel how they should work. You know why exactly it's raining cats and dogs is worse than saying it's raining buckets, or it's like pouring, or it's showering, right? No one, like not no one, but many people don't know the difference. Now I'm telling you the difference, and now that's very important for the examiner to know that you use the modern language. Okay? Prakash says, uses some less common and idiomatic vocabulary and shows some awareness of style and collocation. Yes, exactly. Prakash now linked, he cited a part of the band descriptors from the vocabulary descriptor, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. It says that the candidate must show some awareness of style and collocation, and being aware of some idioms going out of style and other idioms going into style is super important. It just differentiates a native speaker from someone who is learning language by the books. Right, let's move on. In the Rocket IELTS course, and here I just inserted a small screenshot from the Rocket IELTS course. We have module 4 that is dedicated to speaking. We always start every single module with speaking of what skills are tested and needed, and what is the structure of the module and success strategies. Like every single module is in our course starts with, again, understanding the skills that are tested. We're going to the test, we must know what exactly is required from us, the skills that are needed to score high in every module, and then we learn more about the structure, and we learn more about success strategies. Okay, so this is what comes into the Rocket IELTS course in every single module. Very important, we pay a lot of attention to the strategy and structure. Next padlock, next step is the tips. What is the tips? It's like such a vague general word, the tips. What are they? Well, the tips is basically the approach. Every module in IELTS has a variety of question types. Lots of different question types. Each of these question types has a certain approach to solving the question and managing the time that brings the highest results. Knowing this approach is your key to success. Because every question strategy must be also not only learned by the book, but trained in the mock tests. It's one thing to learn something, write it down, and then forget the next day. And that's another thing to train this strategy again and again in the mock test until it just solidifies. But the problem here is that there are so many fake tips and strategies online. Like every single day, I see a random list of words and it says, learn these words to score band 9. Or learn this vocabulary to score band 8. Or, I don't know, use this introduction to an essay to score band 7. No, that just doesn't work like that. You cannot use a list of words to trick the test. It's not possible. The test looks at your general level of knowledge of the English level. It looks at how correctly you use the language. It looks at how fluent you are. It looks at how many words you know that are topic specific, and when you can talk about different topics, you can maintain a conversation about astrology, sociology, psychology, economics, and I don't know, art, a variety of topics. This is what the test looks at. And following those fake tips and strategies online is just the road to failure, unfortunately. For example, let me tell you a bit more about my tips on reading. Like, this is the strategy that I usually follow, and I got band 9 in reading. So what I do, first I skim the text. I note its topic, I note its length, its paragraphs, and who wrote it. Like, it just takes me 30 seconds to go through the whole text and understand what is it about, very, very briefly, without reading it in detail. Then I skim the questions, and I note what they are about and in which order do they go. Then I go back to the text and I note core meanings in each paragraph. So I read a bit more in detail every paragraph, and I write on a piece of paper what is a core meaning, a core idea in every paragraph. Then I go back to the questions and I find questions for the first paragraph. I highlight keywords and key meanings, but here be very, very careful. Keywords is not the same as key meanings. Relying only on keywords is a bad strategy. You must combine keywords and key meanings, and I talk about this in detail in the Rocket IELTS course. Then I read the first paragraph carefully for key meanings. Note here, key meanings. Then I scan for keywords only if there are numbers or proper names. And I repeat for the rest of the paragraphs. And this is how I get band 9 in reading. But then I also see a lot of false strategies online for reading where people say, okay, you first need to read the questions, then you go back to the text, you read it very, very carefully, every single word. It's very important that you understand skimming, scanning, and reading carefully, and you combine them. It's not just when you use one strategy. It's mostly when you combine different approaches and you know which one is used for what, and you're just not using them blindly. Do you know, guys, effective strategies for every IELTS module? Do you know how to write an essay for band 7 or above? Are you absolutely sure what strategies to use to every single question type in reading and listening? Do you know what vocabulary is the best for speaking and what grammar should you showcase in order to sound better in your speaking? Do you know what's the difference between accent and pronunciation in speaking, for instance? I'm aware about listening and reading structure, but not about writing. Yeah, writing is more tricky. In my opinion, writing is one of the most difficult modules for me personally. Okay, Prakash says no. Who else? Islam says no. Please don't be afraid. You're doing this for you guys. You're not doing this for me. You're working on your weaknesses right now and you are improving yourself. So be honest with yourself. That's the work that you're doing on yourself. So there is no need to be afraid. I know some of them, I guess. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know some of them, but there are so many. No, not for every module. No. Yeah, I know. Like, I was in exactly the same position when I started my prep. I know this pain, guys, especially when online there are so many fake tips and you just feel lost. What was your band score in writing and speaking? In writing, my band score was 7 and in speaking 7.5. That was some time ago. If I would take the test right now, I guess I'd score, if I took the test right now, I'd score, I think band at least 7.5 in writing, at least, but it's a very difficult module. And then at least 8 in speaking, for sure. Okay, moving on. The next padlock is practice. We've talked about strategy, we've talked about feedback, about structure, about tips, and now we are left with 3 more padlocks, and one of them is practice. How do you practice? And why is it so important? So many people are speaking about practice. No one is doing that correctly, unfortunately. So, once you learned all the strategies, it's time to solidify the skills in practice. Make sure you have a reliable source of real difficulty mock tests and someone who will comment on your performance, on your mistakes and strength. Again, here, the 2 core parts of the practice that I want to highlight is reliable, real difficulty mock tests, not just random mock tests you found somewhere on the internet. God knows who wrote them. God knows if they are even authentic and you can rely on them. No idea. I don't recommend doing this. Buy a reliable book, buy a reliable course, go to a reliable teacher, because you cannot afford wasting your time and money on something that will prove wrong on the real test, right? Just doesn't make any sense. Because I've seen so many books online where you solve the questions and then you go to the keys in the end and you see that the keys don't even match the questions. Like, it's so bad. Just, yeah, it's sad thinking about how much money people waste on that. And then the second integral part of the practice is, again, feedback. Someone who comments on your performance, someone who lets you know what went wrong, what should you improve, where you should do better. Consequences of the lack of practice. I'm sorry, I've been speaking for more than an hour now. Sometimes people learn the strategies and they think, okay, I'm good. I solved one mock test. I'm good. I don't need any more practice. Why is this detrimental? Because candidates who don't really practice much, they don't know how to finish modules on time. They don't know how to differentiate a keyword and the key meaning. They are not fluent in speaking. They don't know the difference between the accent and pronunciation. They don't know how 150 words and 250 words look on paper. That's one of my favorite life hacks. When you are having your exam, instead of calculating words one by one, you just train yourself and practice a lot at home so that you know how visually 150 and 250 look at in your handwriting. That's one of my favorite tips. Then, without appropriate practice, candidates fail to understand different accents in listening. Unfortunately, they just don't know what people from New Zealand are saying because their accent might be quite strong sometimes. Without practice, candidates don't know speed reading techniques and much, much, much more. So this is why practice, guided practice with a teacher is so important. How do you practice, guys? Let me know, please, in the comments. How do you practice? What are you doing for your hopefully consistent practice? I don't see any comments. Waiting for your comments. How do you practice? I'm already singing songs to you. Wow, what a great lesson. Where else an IELTS teacher sings songs to you in a lesson? I don't know. Unique experience. Okay. Chinaka says, I do Cambridge IELTS books. Perfect. Great. Kaplan books are good as well. But be aware that sample essays in the Cambridge IELTS books are for band 6. They are not for band 7, not for band 8. They are of quite low quality. Tests on the internet. Don't do tests on the internet, I beg you. You never know if they're authentic. You never know. Sometimes there are mistakes in those tests. Sometimes there are vocabulary and grammar mistakes. It's just poor. Don't do it, please. I'm working on the writing with a book. Good, Mary. Please get yourself someone to give you feedback, to comment on your performance, to correct your mistakes. Victoria says, I watch something in English and read in English. Great, that's amazing. Improving your general level of English is super important. I'm not practicing for now, unfortunately. Please fix that because that really affects your level of the language. Cambridge 14 IELTS test. I tried to solve this. Great, that's very good. Cambridge IELTS is okay. Maximus says, I do mock tests every day. Just make sure they are reliable. Collins books. Collins books for writing, they are also for quite a low level. Collins books for writing are good for band 5, for band 6, but they are not enough for band 7. They are definitely not enough for band 8. So if you want something better, go for a course like the Rocket IELTS course because the Collins books are just not enough. Dmitry says, I do tests at home in the test conditions. Perfect. Amazing. Prakash says, practice with official Cambridge books. Yes. Carolina says, I want to buy a course with a native speaker and with writing checking. Well, the Rocket IELTS course is the perfect option for you. We have native speaker who gives a lot of feedback. We have feedback on writing. We check all your essays. We check all your speaking. We correct all your mistakes. Just lots of feedback in the course. Faith says, I'm watching YouTube IELTS videos. Good. Make sure they are reliable. Please share the solution now and talk about how to get our band, not only figuring that we are doing the wrong way. We need solutions. Need solutions. Well, all of the solutions are in the Rocket IELTS course. Just there are, you know how many lessons there are? There are more than 60 lessons. I'm just not physically able to fit 60 lessons of solutions into 1.5 hours. That's just not physically possible. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. The course takes 2 months. I cannot fit 2 months into 1 hour, you know? Just doesn't work. It's physics. Doesn't work this way. Okay, so many cool responses. I love that you are so self-aware, guys. Let's move on. How do you practice? That's a sneak peek from the Rocket IELTS course. We have an interactive platform where we practice the real difficulty IELTS questions from reliable, authentic books and authentic sources. And you just learn these strategies, you learn the approaches, the tips, and then you apply them right away into practice on the platform, okay? That's how it looks like, and this is the screenshot from the platform. That's what you get access to when you join the course, and you just interactively online from your phone, from your laptop, you practice the questions after you learned the strategies. Next step, we've talked about strategy, feedback, structure, tips, practice, and the next one is quality. The quality of everything you're doing, of all the books that you get, of all the tests that you're taking, mocks, YouTube videos, everything. Why is this so important? Because all the preparation materials that you're using, and these are books on IELTS and English in general, for example, Collins books, as I have already told today, the Collins books are valid only up to band 6. If you wanna go beyond the band 6 and get like band 7, band 8, the Collins books just won't do the trick. They just stop at band 6. That's it. You must understand this, right? If you want to get a book for your general English, again, you must understand what's the difference between English grammar and use or the Roundup series. When it comes to the magazines, podcasts, courses, study guides, vocabulary sources, lessons, step-by-step tutorials, and sample essays, with all of this information that comes your way during preparation, it's super important that you know of which quality they are so that they don't confuse you and so that they don't waste your time. It's like the integral part of the preparation. For example, in the Rocket IELTS course, that's again a sneak peek, a screenshot from the platform, we use only authentic vocabulary sources. Like we use The Economist, for example. We use The Guardian, for example. We never use word lists from the internet. Stop doing that, I beg you. If you have ever downloaded a word list from the internet where it says, use these words to score band 8 on IELTS, this is fake. Don't do it. It's very bad. Why? Because learning words without context is your level to failure. Like the real effect when learning vocabulary comes only when you learn that vocabulary in context. When you know where exactly to use these words in the future, right? When you not only learn the word gradual, but you also know that where to fit it in a sentence. Like, for example, you can say gradual increase, but you probably cannot say gradual happiness. Just doesn't work. But if you get a list of words, you never know what context to fit them in, right? It just doesn't work like that. So this is why in the course we only work with authentic sources and we work with the context all the time, so that you not only learned one word, but you know how to fit it in a sentence, and then on your real IELTS test, it's easier for you to fit them in speaking and in your writing. Now, are you sure you use only authentic and reliable sources? Super important. Stop wasting your time and money on something that you found online, something that you cannot prove is reliable, something you don't know who wrote this, you don't know who came up with this. Don't use such stuff. Okay, Carolina and Aslam are so active in the chat. Oh. I want to study in Stanford, says Carolina. What a dream. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. I also want to study in Stanford. Okay, let's speed it up. So, hopefully you got it. Authentic, reliable sources and why they are so important. Why it's not just something that is nice to have, it's something that you must have. You must have these only authentic and reliable sources. And the last part, the last padlock is open, and the last step to Band 7 is the progress track. How do we track our progress? Well, tracking, it begins with deciding what to start with and how to structure preparation. So many people come to me and they say, Darian, I don't know what to start with. There are so many books online, there are so many tips, articles, podcasts, so much of the stuff that I'm surrounded with that I don't know what to start with. I'm lost. Yes, unfortunately that happens. And this is why I recommend to start with understanding what is your beginning point. Clearly decide what do you start with, which book, which course, which video. What is your first step every single day when you start your preparation? Maybe you revise your words that you've learned yesterday. Maybe you work on your grammar. Maybe you open a nice book for IELTS. I don't know. Then settle the order in which to tackle modules. How do you progress? Do you start with reading? Do you start with writing? Do you start with speaking? Settle this. Decide how do you measure your progress. Which progress tracking do you use? Decide how you do the constant progress checks and actually do them. Not only think about them, but do them. And don't lose motivation in the meantime, because this process can become really tedious and really long. So this is why it's very important to have someone by your side who will motivate you all the time. Again, this is a sneak peek from the Rocket IELTS course. This is the structure that we have. We move from the motivation, what is IELTS, how it works, why you should take the test, what doors does it open to you, what can be your restrictive beliefs and fears with IELTS, how to motivate yourself, what are the key to success. Then we move on to setting goals, setting your targets course. We take the first mock test, we take a placement test in vocabulary, we understand where you're at. Then we move on to listening. We start with the skills that are tested, then we learn the structure, the success strategies, we learn how to deal with every single question type. We practice a lot in every question type. We learn how to improve your listening if it's bad. We have lots of vocabulary blocks. After we are done with listening, we have the first vocabulary block, then we move on to speaking. We practice the strategies for every single part. We move on to learning what is coherent speech and how to sound fluent and coherent. We learn more vocabulary. We move on to writing, then more vocabulary, then reading, then more vocabulary, and then we do a closing mock test. We learn how to come to the test on your test day, how to perform your best, and we're done. Like, in this huge course, we have a very, very clear structure with lots of progress checks that helps you to track your progress all the time with every single step. And you have this plan. I saw that Aslam in the chat, he was asking about the plan. Like, I need a planned schedule for studying and speaking evaluation from an expert. Like, this is the planned, the schedule the plan of the studies, and here you get evaluation of your writing and of your speaking from an expert. So this is all included already in the Rocket IELTS course, which starts next Monday, and hopefully you will be joining me. So now, last question to you guys, and we will be moving on to your questions, to answering your questions. That was, my turn to ask questions. But next will be your turn to ask questions. I'm sure you do have some of them. So, we are nearing the end, and do you remember about the present in the end, the gift that I prepared for you? Okay, no. Everyone says no. They don't track their progress. They're not sure in the results, which sounds bad, but there is a decision, salvation, that hopefully you guys will join with me. I just want to remind you that everything is achievable. Like, really. Carolina here in the chat wants to get into Stanford, and she will. I wanted to get into the best business school of Switzerland, and I did. Lots of my students wanted to move to Canada, to Australia, to the US, to the UK, and they did. They all scored Band 7 and above on IELTS at the first attempt. So everything is achievable. There is really nothing holding you back. With all those 7 steps for success that I taught you today, just remember that your IELTS score doesn't depend on luck. It's not luck at all. It's not you predicting what's gonna happen. No. It just depends on the quality of your preparation, the everyday quality of preparation, and you taking those 7 steps to success every single day. So, the question time. While you're writing your questions, I'm gonna just jump to the next slides and tell you a bit more about the Rocket IELTS course. You can be now writing your questions about IELTS, and I will be talking to you about the course. So, are you guys ready to boost your IELTS prep? I hope you are, because with the course, you will get your target score at the first attempt, and this is the last time I'm running this course in 2021, the last time to jump on it. So the Rocket IELTS course starts on November the 8th. That's next Monday, in 1 day. And in the course, you get 2 months of 100% focused online preparation. It's just everything you do is connected to the IELTS. You get exclusive, detailed materials that were prepared just for this course that are authentic and reliable. You get a powerful interactive platform where you have lots of video lessons, where you have lots of theory in texts, in PDFs, again in videos, where you can interactively learn and solve questions right in the platform. You don't need to go anywhere else. You don't need to stack books, to stack notebooks, papers, like all that information to save lots of PDFs on your computers. No, you don't have to do that. You will have everything you need for the IELTS test on one platform in your dashboard. You will follow a clear preparation trajectory for Band 7+. Right? You will stop thinking, okay, what should I start with? Okay, what should I do? I don't understand. I'm lost. No, this will all stop for you, because from now on in the course, there will be clear preparation trajectory, clear schedule, clear plan for you to do every single day, to practice and learn every single day. And lastly, there will be real-time practice with a native from the UK. His name is Matthew. I will present him a bit later. He is the native speaker who teaches with me on the course, and he will be happy to practice your speaking with him, and he will be happy to give you comments to help you improve your pronunciation. And also, in the course, we give gifts We give gifts, we give presents to the best students of the course. We gift them a Netflix subscription and an Audible subscription so that they keep improving their language, so that even when the course is finished, they keep listening in English, watching in English, and just improving their language. I think that's great. Why not? 2 months of free subscriptions. These are the course trainers. That's me. I have taught more than 300 students during the years, and I personally scored 8.0 on my first attempt of the IELTS prep in just under a month, and I'm packing this strategy that helped me into the course, and now I'm ready to share this with you. And yeah, I just created all the course content, all the lessons, all the videos, more than 60 unique videos inside. And then there is Matthew. He's from the UK. He lives in Manchester, and he supports course students during the study process. He answers lots of questions, same as I do. He participates in group calls. He runs calls with you, one-on-one calls. He checks essays. He answers questions. He gives feedback. He's very, very active in the course. Just calculate that one lesson with a native speaker on average costs something around $30 US. So you will spend more than $300 for 1 month of working with a teacher. But in the Rocket IELTS course, you get 2 months, not only with a native speaker, just not only practicing, not only calling him, but also you got lots of step-by-step guidance for every single module. You get more than 60 lessons. You get lots of video guidance. You got lots of interactive exercises, authentic materials, essays, speaking feedback, and everything under $200. Like, just, it's super cheap. It's cheaper than having lessons, one-on-one lessons with a native for 1 month. Instead of this, you get 2 months. And after you're done, by the way, the access to the platform lasts with you for 1 year. Even when you're done with the course in 2 months, you still will have access to the platform and to all the lessons for 1 year. Imagine this. And this is more than 50% gain comparing with the native speaker classes. If you would only pay for the native speaker classes, if you compare the native speaker classes with the Rocket IELTS course, you gain 50%, like twice a cut on the price. So what's inside the program? I see the questions on how many one-on-one speaking will we have. So that's the program. We have 3 packages. In the master package, you get information on all of the 4 IELTS modules. You get 4 vocabulary modules. You get 3 additional modules on top of that about how to prepare, how to motivate yourself, how to do your best on the test day. You get all the homework checks. You get mock and placement tests. You get 12 video calls with trainers, writing and speaking evaluation, model answers for writing and speaking, certificate of completion, closed chat groups to answer all of your questions and to have support 24/7. You get the participation in the game for Audible and Netflix subscriptions. You get a VIP chat with 24/7 support and a final mock test discussion with me. We just sit together and talk about what you did right or wrong and what can you improve. For the trainee package, you get everything except for the final mock test discussion with me. And for the self-study package, you get everything except for the feedback from trainers. So if you have less than 2 months, you can go for the self-study package and you can finish that whenever you want. Like the self-study package, you just work at your own pace. If you have just 1 month until your test, go for the self-study package. It's the cheapest and it contains all the same information as in the master and trainee, but you just study on your own. Want even more good news, guys? And I'm so happy to bring you the good news and to bring you one of my presents. I'm giving 15% discount for everyone from this live lesson. Everyone who watches this live lesson and who wants to join the Rocket IELTS course starting on Monday, you get 15% discount. And that means that these are the prices for you. These are the prices with a discount that you can get if you decide to join today or tomorrow. And the self-study package is the cheapest. It's under $80 US. The master package is under 200. Again, I remind you, this is 2 months of focused, constant, comprehensive preparation with the native speaker and with me. And that's a lot cheaper than comparing if you would decide to practice only one-on-one with a native speaker. It's a lot cheaper. So I'm sending the link to join the course in the chat. You can click the link, you can choose your package, and what's more, from now on, you can break the master package, the biggest one, into 3 payments. You can start with paying just $65 US. It's less than the self-study package. It's super cheap. Like for 2 months of the content you get and of the step-by-step guidance for the task that can change your life, it's super cheap. It's like, I don't know, I have not seen such a bargain anywhere else. And you can now break the master package into 3 payments and pay in the beginning, in the middle of your course, and in the end of the course. That's now possible. That's on the website. To sign up, find the link in the description box of this video or in the chat. I've sent the link in the chat. You can pay in your local currency. You can use any card you have, debit card, credit card, doesn't matter, and you're just paying in your local currency, by the way, basically. And this is the promo code. The promo code is live15. You can use that at the checkout, and it just gives you the discount, the magical discount. The promo code is live15 that you apply at the checkout, and you get the discount, which is the present, one of the presents that I'm giving to you. And now I will be answering more of your questions. Gabriela says, hi, I want to join. Please do, please do. I will be very happy to see you in the course, and I will be very happy to work on your goals to help you score 7 and above. The link is already in the chat. You can use it to join the course. Okay, any questions about how the course works? Please ask. Islam says, can you share your screen with the dashboard giving us experience from the real course platform interaction as an example? I did that. I have a video where I recorded the shared screen. It's on the website of the course. If you go to the course website that I linked here in the chat, there will be a video of how the platform looks on the inside. And you can watch that video and you can have a look. That's it. It's very cool. It's interactive. It works on your mobile phone. It works on the desktop. Wherever you are, you can just work at your own pace. Perfect. Tapasum says, for a month, I have been practicing with reading, but I couldn't finish on time. How can I manage the time? Yes, this is what I'm talking about. People are practicing for months and months. They don't have feedback. They don't know speed reading techniques. They don't understand how to improve. And this is why I have the course, so that you just understand what exactly to change and to improve right away. And you stop wasting your time on doing something that is not effective. It has schedules. I come from Peru. No, it doesn't have any schedules. You work whenever it is convenient to you. You just log onto the platform and that's it. Like, you log into the platform wherever it is convenient to you. And when we have one-on-one calls, you just decide what time is convenient to you. That's it. So we have students from all over the globe, guys. We don't focus on one country. We work with everyone. Mary asks, how can I change the currency on the payment page? You cannot change the currency. The currency is built from your card in your local currency. So that's it. You don't need to change it. The currency will be in my local currency because of the law. I cannot change it. I must bill in my local currency, but you are billed in your local currency. So from your card, your local currency will be taken. That's very easy. It's converted automatically, so you don't need to worry about the currency. Dmitry says, I really want to take participation in that course, but physically can't do in this month because I already participate in one. When it will be launched next year? Honestly, Dmitry, I have no idea. This is the last course that I will run this year, and I don't know if I will launch it next year. I probably will, but I don't know when. I don't know, maybe that will be January, maybe February, maybe March. Like, honestly, I just have no idea. I have not fixed the schedule. Eslam says, I want to go for the self-study program option. I want to work on my own time schedule, but how can I get any kind of supervision? You cannot get supervision in the self-study option. It's impossible. The self-study option is the self-study because you get no supervision. You get supervision in the master and standard packages, but you also work in your own pace. You have the 2-month schedule, but you log in when it's convenient to you. You study when it's convenient to you. You work at your own pace. You have the access to the platform for 1 year. Even when you are done with the course, you still have 1 year of the access to the same platform, to the same materials, to the same exercises. So even if you need to revise something, you will be able to do that during 1 year. Mary says, thank you, Darren. How can I change to 3 payments? I don't see that option either. Okay, let me show you here on my screen. So here, I hope you now see the screen. This is the video where you can look inside our interactive platform. And here on the video, you can have a look at basically how the platform works, what's inside, etc., etc. Just watch that video. If you want to pay in installments, this is where you pay in installments. This is basically, you just click here, join master, and you will pay, the first of your payment will be just $77 US. But if you enter the promo code that you got from the live stream, you will pay less. Here is the blank spot from the promo code where you apply it. And here are the packages, the self-study, the master, and the trainee. So basically, the self-study is everything the same as master and trainee, but with no supervision. You don't have to wait until the next batch starts. So even if you want to join without waiting for everyone else to start, you can do that. But you get supervision only in master and trainee. However, again, here you also move at your own pace, basically. You move at your own pace, and you log in whenever it is convenient to you. There are also several, there is the course program. You can open every module. You can see what's inside every module. And then you can also have a look at the reviews of the people who worked with me and studied with me. And you can watch some interviews with students here. We are very international. We work with students from all over the globe, guys. So don't worry if you have a different schedule. I wanted to say, if you have a different time zone, we work with everyone. Right, Maximus asks, can you send your IELTS result? Absolutely, I can. I even have the results somewhere here. Oh no, I think it's somewhere in a box. I was moving some time ago. I moved to a new apartment and all of my papers are somewhere in boxes. So unfortunately, it's going to be very long to take it out. But yeah, I have it in the electronic format for sure. Okay, you can also get this slide deck in PDF. You just have to text me, DM me, send a direct message on Instagram or on Telegram. My handle is the same, D_St. Martin, and send me a code phrase, live stream. And with this code phrase, I will send you back this beautiful, beautiful state-of-art slide deck that I love, and it hopefully will help you progress further. And I hope to see you in the course that will start on Monday. Okay. I'm also ready to answer more questions if you have some about the IELTS, about the course. And tomorrow is the third day of the IELTS listening bootcamp. We will continue working on your listening. You will meet Matthew, who is also the trainer on the course. And hopefully you will have a great time talking to him and improving your language abilities. Okay, if I don't see any questions in the chat in the following 1 minute, then we will call it a day and we will go rest. And I hope, guys, you will go join the course so that we can start working exclusively on your IELTS success on Monday. So, looks like we don't have any more questions. So we could probably finish it off right here. Thanks so much for finding time to learn with me today. I'm sure it was very productive. I loved the session, and hopefully I will see you all on the Rocket IELTS course on Monday, and I will also see you all tomorrow on Telegram for the continuation of our listening bootcamp. Thank you. Let me know, please, in the comments, by the way, if you like the session, because I see that some people, thanks, oh, thanks, you're so nice, thanks for participating, thanks for attending. I really enjoyed talking to you guys today. Do we have online lessons or only the materials on the platform? Yes, we do have online lessons. You do have one-on-one calls with a native speaker. So yeah, it's the lessons on the platform, it's the interactive exercises, and plus you get calls, real-time calls with the native speaker. So yeah, thanks everyone, and I'll see you in the course. And also remember that we have the listening bootcamp that is in full swing right now, and tomorrow we'll continue working on the listening. And I'm just sending the link to it here. Don't forget that tomorrow is the day 3. So tomorrow is the continuation of the bootcamp. So I'll see you in the Telegram channel for the bootcamp. Thanks. It's been such an increasingly session. Increasingly, maybe interesting. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much, Pavel. Thanks a bunch. Thank you. Oh, you're so sweet, guys. I'm very happy that you liked it. If anyone decided to join the course, let me know here in the comments as well, or text me on Telegram. I will be very happy to see how many people will join us on Monday for the Rocket IELTS. See you on Rocket IELTS. Yeah. Aslam, you're in. Yes. Cool. Happy to work with you and happy to know you better on Monday. Hopefully your success will be on our website. You know, like when you're finished in 2 months, we will get your interview. We will put it on the website so that everyone can see what you've achieved. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a nice night, because it's already night at my place. I don't know about your time zone. And I'll see you in the course. Bye-bye.